I put this company here in the middle, Prognosis Systems. America is a phenomenal country. So a client of mine a couple years ago, running a company, very successful, I think at the time $12 or $14 million small business, 110 employees, rocking. I don't know where he gets this idea, but out of nowhere he decides, you know I'm scanning documents for like law firms and insurance companies and things like that for lawsuits, but I think I'm going to build a platform for community hospitals and start selling that. So they acquired this little product called Chart Access. They turned it into this company called Prognosis. They did the development offshore. It took them several years. And of course, like all things, they now have to enter the market to sell it. And when you're an entrepreneur, a lot of the things that become commonplace to you in academia just don't exist in our world. For instance, market research. Not really a big point of contention for an entrepreneur. Market research for me is, man, I can't sleep tonight. I woke up this morning and I have an idea. I am going to go talk to my client that I think is going to be a potential user of that, and I'm going to go ask them what they think about it and how much they're going to pay for it. And maybe there'll be a pilot test for me. And if I'm a really good salesman, I might even get them to fund a portion of that development cost. And then if we can do it together, I'll go off and sell it by myself. And so that's actually how we built our own cloud. We took an idea on one simple server for a problem that a client had. It wasn't even my problem, it was their problem. I didn't have the problem, I was already using those services. But we took that problem, put it in our Denver data center. My primary data center is with SunGard Availability Services. They're one of the largest hosting companies in the United States, publicly traded, $6 billion company, all the SAS 70 certifications and things like that. So it makes banks and SOX auditors and the Department of Banking and all those people really warm and fuzzy because they get to see all those types of things. So it's really good stuff. But we put it out there and off we went. Prognosis came to me with a problem. A year ago, they come to me and they're selling this deal. You might have heard that our president had released $244 billion. Don't worry, it's actually not counted in the trillion dollars for the budget. This is separate, $244 billion, but it's money for hospitals and doctors to make electronic medical records more commonplace, right? We're all wasting a bunch of money with all this paper. Because let's face it, in reality, you, me, if people could be more efficient with paper, none of us would even be in the technology business. Because quite frankly, at the end of the day, technology can be a monumental waste of money. However, Prognosis comes to me, and the problem really wasn't that they needed a cloud solution. The problem was these 4 hospitals in we'll call it northwest Texas, kind of like fly to Dallas, take a hopper to Amarillo, get in a car, drive an hour and a half, and you're almost there. That's where I'm talking. That Texas, rural Texas, Friday Night Lights Texas. These 4 hospitals come together and they all have to go on it. I mean, the government says you got to do it, you got to do it. The problem is they don't have any money. It's not like a private enterprise, right? You're a community hospital. What are you going to do? Drive over somebody on the sidewalk? They don't have any cash. So they go to the Texas Health and Human Services and whatever. They get a grant. My client Prognosis goes there as well. And over a series, as you know, you in a university, you know things don't happen overnight. They went through the government and they essentially got this grant. And they said, yeah, we're going to give you the money to buy this electronic medical record software. And the 4 hospitals will come together and share this one system. Excellent. My client has a sale. They are excited. One problem. Now imagine you and 3 of your friends are going to split a multi-million-dollar investment, but it has to reside at one of your houses. How do you decide whose house it gets to stay at? My friends and I have had this conversation all the time. Hey, let's buy a Ferrari together. We don't need it every day. Where do we garage it? I don't know. You remember those conversations, John? Yeah, orange Lamborghini it was last year, but we've had those conversations. The hospitals couldn't agree. So literally out of nowhere, and this is how entrepreneurialism works, It's about 3:45 on a Friday. Out of nowhere, my client calls me and says, I need you to give me a quote right now to host 4 hospitals for 5 years in the cloud, in your Denver data center, with all the security and make all HIPAA regulations, and I have to have it in under an hour. And I'm like, well, you know, I can do that. Back to what I said before. Sometimes you just don't get all the resources that you want. So we put it together. We make the quote. We do our best guess estimates. We come up with it. And lo and behold, they loved it. They loved the idea. And we became the first company in the state of Texas, third in the United States, to be the host of what's called a RIO, Regional Health Information Exchange, where a group of hospitals come together to share a health information system. And that, my friends, is an application provider.